you stand with your hand. Then you have to call one more barrel out of position, and here we have a poster. It looks like you posted both the big and the small. P-Stars champ. I think I just raise that and steal it. I think the point of that hand was to show you just to attack limpers, and you can do it from out of position. Also notice Setzer Mason's making, this is kind of a tell thing. You see the fish, he's obviously identified the fish as the guy playing with $88 in a 46-12 style. So he's decided to ISO raise him, and players will pick up on this, and you can actually make this 3-bet here pretty light, because they're going to be, the good regulars will be making these ISO raises extremely light. I'll do it, I don't know, with Jack 10 off, Jack 9 off, anything I think I can get away with. Ace Queen suited is also a really big hand, and you could almost find an argument for just flat calling, but either way, you can, other regulars, you have to know what they're going to be capable of, and Setzer Mason is capable of ISO raising a fish with light holdings. Also, when he makes it 8 instead of 10, it's kind of a bet sizing thing. Like, he's still trying to keep the pot kind of small, so he has more maneuverability. Also, his hand probably isn't that great. Here we're going to ISO raise him again from out of position this time with still having the nuts. And if you didn't catch it, the chat up there, MyZack44 was trying to entice me into playing on heads-up tables. I always love it when you get him to that point. You know you're doing something right after that tilted. We flop the nuts, and now it's just how do we get all of his money in the middle. I actually don't like my bet sizing here. I would have rather seen me bet $18. Those round number bets tend to stick out in fish's minds like actual money. Against this player, it didn't actually matter when you see what he shows up with. Here it's the same operation, bet enough to where we hope we get called, and actually go bombing on it and bet a fairly large amount.
Yeah, 7-3.
Way off, buddy. Actually, limp called the nuts.
What?
Yeah. So, it's just important to know.
Do you think if you shove the turn he folds?
Actually, I don't know, maybe.
Like, I honestly think there's a small chance he does.
As we see, MyZack44 did a lot bigger 3-bet. I think he has King-Queen here, actually. This is the time that he had, I didn't have Ace-Queen. Never mind. Yeah, he has King-Queen of clubs.
Wow.
So, I mean, he's playing a lot looser than I am. I'm getting a lot better cards than he is, though. But as you saw, when I had King-Queen, I didn't even 3-bet it, let alone 4-bet it. I'd rather just play a pot of position, or even out of position, and just flop top pair and get it in against him.
Yeah, King-Queen's a pretty gross thing to 3-bet. It's just so strong post-flop that you don't really need to turn it into a bluff.
Yeah, it's like same thing with Ace-Queen, like when I 3-bet the Ace-Queen when that guy was ISO raising. One of the merits, like, you can 3-bet it, but calling, it's too good of a hand to turn into a bluff there. So if you feel like you're going to have to fold it, then don't 3-bet it. I remember this hand. The guy that we're playing against is playing 16-3. I'm playing 8-5 on this table, but overall I believe I was playing something like 17-13 on the full ring tables. Heads up, I was obviously playing a little bit looser than that, and that kind of skewed the overall stats, which we'll look at later. But it's important to note that I made it 5x. That's my standard ISO raise. I do that if I had Jack 4 and decided to ISO raise here. And we get a pair, top kicker, on a pretty bad board for our hand. And there's also 3 other players in the hand, and we are going to bet this out and
Fold.
That's what we should have done, yeah. And that's being kind of results oriented, but also I don't know why I'm time banking. I think it's because I have too many tables going on or too much heads up. This is another reason why I don't have heads up going on. And so then I quickly snap and bet 31, or maybe I was channel surfing or something, who knows. And then the guy that's Bronze Star, who is extremely aggressive, raises us. Now 16% of hands is a pretty decent range. 3% re-raising means that jacks, 9s, queens, he probably doesn't 3-bet queens, to be honest. He also did this into 2 other players and myself, who bet into 3 players.
Yeah.
This is, yeah, very clear bet fold here. Just, I decided to do the stupid thing, get it in, and he has the set of jacks.
It's the bottom of his range, too.
Can't believe he didn't fold it. I mean, it's the bottom of his range. Um, I mean, pocket nines he could have had. He could have had tens and queens, but he's not. The pocket nines and the pocket jacks are the only two hands that he's playing that way. We just lost. Oh, we're back. My computer just went to sleep. It's not the best thing. A little more downtime. In full ring, something that you might want to get to know. You probably already know how to do this because you're doing really well at the micro stakes and I'm getting crushed. You sometimes get to fold tens pre-flop and even on like deuce, deuce, four boards, and same with jacks sometimes. It seems really nitty, but as you see here, also sometimes you're going to 3-bet him. With my stats being 44-29 on this table and his stats being 43-24, I'm not going to get a lot of respect for my hand, and his hand's going to be a pretty wide range too. And he calls,
Wow.
and we flop gin. Obviously now we're just trying to get the most amount of money in, and so we kind of do this. Looks like a rapturous bet. Dave lives on. And we get min check raise. This is usually the nuts. And so we flat call. And now he bets 75. Note the round number betness. And I believe that looks like a half pot bet. And he also has a very small river shove if I call. Once again, I think to make sure that he thinks that I'm thinking, and I believe I jam here. Oh, I click it back. Nice. So note that we both have the nuts, and we're just clicking it back at each other. These are tells that go on, and he has a set of threes. First of all, his open. I believe he ISO raised the 59-6 player with pocket threes. I don't hate it. I don't like it. You're still in early position. You're still going to face a lot of 3-bets. And then, obviously, he did flop a set, but I mean, he wasn't really deep enough, I don't think, to justify calling $27 pre-flop with pocket threes. We get jacks the very next hand, and it's really just unlucky that this guy that's plays 61-6 didn't call. I didn't realize that I clicked it back on the turn. That was kind of goofy and nerdy to say the least. Alex wants to go get gelato tonight with him and Amy.
Yeah, so I get to be a fifth wheel.
Yeah, I think we should go out to the bars instead, though.
I can drive.
Let's go have a couple of drinks or something, not get crazy, because
I'm not really good at not getting crazy when I go to the bars.
We'll practice. Practice makes perfect. Besides, what do you really have to do tomorrow? The games have been so crappy this weekend.
Games were good. Games have been really good. Are you kidding?
In Omaha, but the games that I wanted to be playing this weekend have been terrible. I'm also really exhausted though, so I'm not really feeling up for challenges.
Challenges? What do you mean?
I don't know. Honestly, I was gonna be playing 5-10 all the weekend, but I didn't get any sleep, so I feel like crap all day. I feel like I did when I was getting SNE in December last year.
Well, you can always change your mind about, you know, your plans to do like 5-10 or whatever. Just
yeah. Well, the 5-10 games weren't that good anyways. There was 4 of them. 3 of them were short stackers, and 3 of those short stacking tables obviously had 8 $200 stacks and 1 $700 stack. The one guy wanted to be able to cover everyone at the table twice or 3.5 times, so he bought him for $700.
It's not like if you double someone up, they're gonna stay and play him.
Yeah, exactly. So then you're basically just stuck playing 20 big blind poker.
Yeah, you might as well just, if you're gonna play at that table, you might as well buy in for short too.
But I would never do that. And then ADZ was in the games. That's another way that you can tell that they're just not good games. This means there's nothing higher is running. All the higher stakes players are dropping down. I will advocate some game selection. I guess we're talking about that now. At 1-2, if you learn how to beat the regulars, you'll never have to worry about game selection. Those will be some of your best games ever, actually, is when you have a table full of over-laggy regulars. You do want to have like 1 or 2 fish that they're all fighting over, and then you just pick off the regulars. As you saw with me 3-betting ace-queen. Once again, I think calling there might have been a little bit better with the ace-queen suited, but something worse like ace-jack, where you're not really... You can turn the hand into a bluff because it doesn't have nearly as much value as ace-queen suited. and kind of this like I don't know, which would mean that you could probably do the same thing with 6-7 suited. Just is going to have less post flop playability. A lot of downtime here.
Yeah.
Some of those situations that you're going to have to fold jacks and tens and maybe queens if the player's right is if you find a really tight player that opens from under the gun, you're not going to be 3-betting jacks or queens against this player. And let's say the flop comes down like deuce 3-7 and their player's playing like 9-7. That player's probably folding hands like sevens, eights,